These are possibly one of the most expensive pancakes I've ever made because pistachios are not cheap, but so worth it. Hi everyone, it's Tash and welcome to another recipe video. And today we are making gluten-free pistachio pancakes with ground pistachios and no wheat flour, or any other type of flour. So yes, these are gluten and wheat-free friendly. They are going to be a little bit crumbly because there is nothing really binding them together other than egg. Then they will be a little bit dense too because the only thing that's helping to raise them and keep them light is baking powder. And you can't add too much baking powder, otherwise whatever you're making will taste like soap. But I reckon I've made mine so that they're just fluffy and light enough to be pancakes, but also concentrated enough in pistachio so you get that lovely nutty pistachio flavour. I bought a 150 gram bag of ground pistachios from Amazon. I can't remember the name, I'll pop the name on screen now. And just to warn you, it's very badly ground. As you'll see, it's very chonky, so not a fine ground. But it actually worked really well and made really nice textured pancakes. So if you happen to buy a bag of ground pistachios and it is a bit chunky, it works too. And if you buy it but you actually prefer a finer ground, then you can pop it in a blender food processor just for a few seconds, give it a whiz, and it'll be a bit finer. But do be careful because these are very oily nuts, so if you grind them for too long, they'll turn into nut butter. This is a super quick recipe, super fast, perfect for breakfast. So let's go to the kitchen and see how it's done. For these pistachio pancakes you'll of course need pistachios, and here I've got 150 grams of ground pistachios which I bought online. To that I'm going to add 2 tablespoonfuls of caster sugar, 1.5 teaspoonfuls of baking powder, and a little pinch of salt. Let's give this a bit of a stirry stir. Interesting. This stuff that I've bought online isn't very well ground, so these are going to be textured pancakes. If I really wanted finer ground pistachios, I would pop this in the blender or food processor just for a few seconds, but you know what? I think I'm actually going to like textured pancakes, so let's leave it as it is. I'm going to pop in 1 egg. Let's just break her up a little bit. 2 tablespoonfuls of melted unsalted butter, which I've cooled down a little as well because I don't want to scramble that egg. Give that a stir, and here we have 130 milliliters of milk, but now that I'm looking at it, we might not actually need all of it, so I'm going to gradually add it bit by bit and see how much we have left. Well, this is actually enough, let's see, and I only used 30 milliliters because it's at 100 milliliters, so 30 milliliters of milk. You don't need that much. Now let's cook these up. Now I have some vegetable oil here, which I've been heating up. We just spread it lightly. There's more oil in here than I would usually have for pancakes, but because I'm using ground pistachios and no flour, they're going to be quite oily and they're going to be quite sticky, so they are going to want to stick more than regular pancakes. So extra oil is for extra insurance. I'm going to put a couple of scoopfuls on, and be careful because these spread a lot, so make sure you give them plenty of space to do their thing. And now we're going to cook them for a couple of minutes until they're all bubbly. Now let's give them a little flip. It's been a couple of minutes. Be careful because they're crumbly. There we go. And cook for another minute or 2. And you'll want to do this again and again until all your batter's used up. This makes about 10 pancakes. So we've got our pancake stuck now. Let's dress her up. Pop some blueberries on there, some raspberries, any berries you like. I'm also going to put a little blob of skyr right here. You can use Greek yogurt, but I've got my skyr. Technically skyr is a cheese, did you know? It's made in Iceland. And although it kind of tastes like a yogurt, the process of making it from the milk is actually the process of making a cheese, so technically it's a cheese. And just in case this isn't pistachio enough for you, I use some sweet pistachio cream to pour over on top. I did thin it out a little bit with milk first because it's super thick, even thicker than Nutella. And it kind of is like Nutella in flavour, only with pistachio. Super good. And just look at that, oh, that lovely sauce cascading down. And if you dig into it, you have a lovely soft, super green pancake. Pancakes! I'm going to be 100% honest with you. This is too much pancake. Because this is pretty much made with mostly ground nuts, it's very concentrated and there's a lot of nut in here. Think about if you eat a small handful of nuts, you get full very quickly. So they're quite heavy and this is too much pancake. As I said, it's enough to make 10. This is just a stack of 5, which is about half the batter. And I think I'd only be able to get through 2 or 3 pancakes, but that wouldn't look really good on camera, so I just stacked them up. So although I'm not going to be able to finish them in one go, don't worry, they're not going to waste. I'm going to cover them, pop them in the fridge, and then I will heat them up again later when I'm hungry. Anyway, I'm going to grab myself a little bit of pancake. Oh, it's so soft. I'm going to grab a raspberry, a little bit of that skyr, and cheers. That is good pistachio pancake. And you know what? I'm so glad I didn't finally grind those pistachios further, because that crunch you get from the odd chunk here and there is absolute perfection. So I would actually recommend having roughly ground pistachios for this recipe. I can't stop eating it. Oh my gosh. I think I need some alone time with these pancakes. I take it back. I am in danger of finishing this whole stack. Just like the ground pistachios, I bought my pistachio creme online. Like I mentioned, it's super thick stuff. It's thicker than Nutella, and it doesn't really melt as well over the heat, although it does melt a little bit. So I mix mine with a dash of milk to make it a bit thinner and make a pouring sauce out of it. It's also really good in lattes. If you look at my shorts playlist, you'll see I've used it a few times in my latte recipes. Anyway, I'm going to end this video now because I want some quality time with these pancakes. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you will join me next Wednesday for my next one. Get the full written recipe on my blog tastcakes.com, and follow me on Instagram. I am tastcakes.tastes. I'm also on TikTok. Over there I'm called Food in Slow Motion. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more. Give this video a like if you'd like to help other people find it. Comment down below if you'd like me to make anything in particular, and I will see you guys next time. Be good, be nice, and have a good week. Do you like my ponytail palm? Technically it's a succulent.